Alright, it is Thanksgiving Day. I just got up from like a 2-hour nap. I don't know what day it is. I said it was Thanksgiving. I'm gonna make a video on my BMW 428i. I did a lot of research online, the pros, the cons of the car, what people liked, what they didn't like, and a lot of what helped me out the most was video. Lacking online, oddly enough, was video about the 428i. They haven't been out that long. They've been out since 2013. The first model was 2014. That's what this is. It's a 2014 428i Coupe. I bought it with 19,000 miles. I've put 3,000 miles on it so far, so I have 22,013 miles on it. So I've definitely had it long enough to where that was loud. I do have some things that I cannot stand about the car, and of course I have things that obviously I love or I wouldn't have bought it. So first and foremost, I absolutely love this car. It was between this car and two others that I couldn't decide if I wanted. I had a BMW 328i from like 2010 to 2013, and then I went from a car to a Jeep Wrangler Unlimited 2013. I modded the crap out of that thing, and then I wanted to get back into a car. I was tired of the crappy gas mileage and constantly worried if something was going to break on that Jeep. You know, had a 3-inch lift on it, did a lot of stuff to it, and so far this car, I think everything was bone stock. It's kind of hard to tell because the thing sits so low to the ground already. There's not much of a wheel gap. I think there's like that much of a wheel gap in the back and a little bit more in the front, which I want to lower it a little bit. I want to do some coilovers. I've switched out the kidney grills on the front. I put some vinyl on the sides just to give it a pop of color. And I have gotten new wheels and tires. So I've done a little bit to it. There's still quite a bit I want to do that's left on my list. But anyways, let's jump right into what I do and do not love about this car. So first thing would be the way it drives. I love the way it drives, but it's so different from my last BMW. The first week that I had it, I honestly thought something was wrong with it because it has this thing called efficient dynamics in the newer model BMWs, and it literally forces you to alter the way you drive the vehicle. So if you have a real heavy foot on the gas, that usually does not work well with this car. You know, going fast obviously is no problem, but the way that you accelerate, the way that you brake, all that stuff comes into account when you drive this car. Otherwise, it's real twitchy whenever it's shifting itself. So I have the automatic with the manual option, and I say manual, it just gives you kind of the option to, whoa, I thought my drink was gonna spill. It gives you the option to use the shifter as a manual shifter, and also has the paddle shifters on the steering wheel, which that's kind of fun to do, but more times it's more work than it's worth. So that is the first thing I am not a huge fan of with this car. Whenever I have somebody else drive it, it's real, you know, jerky, but they just kind of have to get used to it. Second thing I'm not a real big fan of with this car is the length of the doors, which obviously that's with any coupe, so I got myself into that. The doors are really, really long, and so I always try and make my passenger aware, hey, the doors are really long, you know, watch out. Or I have opened my driver's side door up into things countlessly, which is my own fault. Luckily, I haven't taken any paint off or dented it or anything. I'll give you guys a little look at the interior. So this is kind of what what you see when you're the driver. So steering wheel is really nice. Eventually, I think I might like to change it to an M Sport. That's really not on the top of my list or the top of my thoughts of what I want to do to this car. Comes with the keyless entry, keyless push start, which is really nice. But I will say, I usually keep the key in my back pocket, and I have opened the trunk accidentally from sitting down on it a number of times. So it kind of has its own convenient and inconvenient factors to it. I cannot think of what this is called, but whenever you're driving, you get to a stop, the engine shuts off or whatever to help with fuel economy. That's an option on this. I hate that because it freaks me out, so I turn that off first thing and I keep it off. The control panel to everything's up here, the GPS, the radio, everything. So all that's right here. Obviously the temperature control, climate control in the car is right there. The controls to all that goodness right there is right here, which that's kind of cool because it keeps your eyes on the road, because it's really convenient just sticking your hand right here and being able to go to what you need. It took a little bit of time to get used to, but now I'm completely used to it, so it's good. Obviously comes with the moonroof, which is nice, and I love having. Back seat is huge. So one thing they did to the 428i that is different than the 3 Series, so they did this with the 4 Series coupes compared to the 3, is they lengthened the length of the car completely. I've done the wheels, did the tires, went with a little bit bigger size, went with size up on the wheels. I think it came with stock 17s, I put 18s on it. Not a huge deal. I didn't want to go with 19s because the price difference from 18 to 19s is unreal. And then obviously I wasn't going to go with 20s because we have really crap roads. And I could just see myself running my wheel within a week, so I didn't do that. I went with the German flag vinyl. I wanted to give it a little pop of color, and you'll see why. Because it's almost completely black. The only accents that I have color-wise are the center caps, the TSW center caps, which I forgot to tell you that's what wheel I went with. I believe my tire is a Cooper MT5. So the only color that I have are the TSW center caps, the red from that, a little bit of silver on that, and then the light right here. And then obviously the front light right there. Next thing I did, or actually the first thing I did, was I took out the stock kidney grills, which, if you know what those look like, it's all silver right here, and then these are still black, but it's not glossy, it's just kind of a flat black. So that's the very first thing I did, and that's one of my problems with BMW. Anything you want to do, whether it's changing out a fog light, which coincidentally I need to do, changing to kidney grills, anything that you do yourself, it's super, super hard. I don't say that to discourage anyone from doing things themselves, but like I said a second ago, I came from a Jeep where you could do anything you wanted to it, and it was super easy to do. But BMW just, God, they make it hard to even do anything. It was so hard to get these things out, so hard to put them back in, but it happened, so I should stop complaining. One thing I will say about the height of the car, like I said earlier, I plan on putting some coilovers. I really haven't decided on coilovers and springs, but I want to get rid of this right here. There's about that much of a gap. Not a big deal, but I want to get rid of that. There's an even bigger gap in the front. Not too much of a difference, but I want to get rid of that. If you have a crap driveway, a driveway that's just steep as anything, I would be really careful. My grandparents have one, and I have bottomed out once before, and so I don't even go up their driveway anymore, and that's with nothing done to the suspension at all. So I can only imagine how it's going to end up being whenever I get the suspension done to it, but I mean, I'm a careful driver. I know not to drive in a freaking pothole, so it shouldn't be really that big of an issue. Overall, I absolutely love this car. I'm very, very glad I went with it. You're gonna laugh whenever I said what I was kind of debating between. I was debating between a Scion FRS and a Subaru BRZ. And I'm really, really glad I ended up going with this. It's a lot nicer in my opinion. German engineering, I'm a huge fan of. Like I said before, I had a BMW for 3 years and I loved that thing. But I kind of rotate my cars every 2 or 3 years, so I was happy to get back behind German engineering. I love it. Love the car. There are some things, obviously, I do not like, but they aren't deal breakers or I would not have bought it. So if you are considering purchasing a 428i or a 4 Series for that matter, I'd say do it. If you can do it, do it. I did buy a warranty on this thing because I'm not about to pay X amount of dollars for something stupid, because it is kind of expensive when either piddly stuff or, God forbid, big stuff breaks. It can get pricey, but I have a warranty on just about every part of this car. I have the factory warranty, I have another warranty that I purchased through the dealer, I have a warranty on the wheels, and I also have a warranty on the tires. So I was not a firm believer of warranties till I had my Jeep, and I used it like 6 times. So I will never ever buy another vehicle where I don't have a warranty. I hope this video helped. I hope it was some kind of resource to somebody. Like I said, when I was on the fence as to whether or not I wanted to purchase a 4 Series, I Googled the crap out of 4 Series, and I looked at everything I could. I watched every video I could, and there were not a ton of videos out there for reviews or from actual customers who bought a 4 Series. So I hope it helps. I hope it was of some value, and I hope you have fun in your new 4 Series if you end up buying it.